All right, guys, welcome back to another Life with Lenoci podcast, special edition week, because we got a special guest today, the one and only, the guy. All right, I'm going to introduce him like this. I came from his testicles. I literally came out of his penis, and he made me. I was I lived in his testicles for most of his life, and then this is what I was. This is how I was made. I was made. This guy made me. So here he is, Manny Lenoci.
It was an accident.
I love it.
Nice. Do you regret having kids? Let's start with that.
Wow. That's an easy question. Yes.
What's your question?
So I have a question. So wait, you have a sister and a brother, or
brother-in-law? But yeah, it's
just
two of
kids.
us.
Tell us why he is your second favorite child.
Second favorite child. Pretty much they're equally. Each one has this.
Well, I'm a guy, so he obviously likes guys better. Men like men better.
Not necessarily. I mean, it's just all about attitude.
Yeah, but he got grandchildren from.
Yeah.
Do you would you be disappointed if I didn't have grandchildren?
No.
If I didn't give you don't care, right? It's not that big of a deal.
I mean, you would be the last Lenoci in the world.
Well, we have cousins. There's cousins.
Yeah, I know, but they don't count.
So the only thing
directly from us.
Yeah, but the only thing important for you is to.
I mean, I have Lenocis in Italy,
but
so
what? So what is it? So, but more importantly, you want the Lenoci gene to keep living on.
Well, that's a tough one too, because I don't know about your genes. I don't know.
I love this.
It could be better.
Speaking about genes, how disappointed are you that he was never a sports athlete?
A little bit.
You were disappointed that I wasn't as a high school player, or
not
college?
Really disappointed. I thought maybe you would be good, pretty good. I mean, not everybody can be really good at it. Otherwise, you wouldn't be doing this.
But when I was 12, I had a good year.
Yeah, but that's so everybody else in the world, they have a good year. I mean, you're just pretty much a average, Michael. You weren't really that good.
Yeah, well, I mean, I got it from you.
Yeah, you didn't get any sports ability from me. You probably...
All right,
better.
fair enough.
I mean, I'm just telling you what it is.
This is what it's like with an Italian father. They never believe in anything. What one of the things that when I said I was going to move to LA 13 years ago, he goes, What are you in La La Land? You think you're going to be in movies and stuff? You're out of your mind.
How did you feel after he graduated college, worked in a corporate job, that he was like, I'm coming out as a comedian?
Would you have rather me come out as gay or a comedian?
I don't know about that.
I didn't go that direction.
No, I mean, I didn't think. I know that was a little out of his field. I mean, being a salesperson type of a pressure type of.
Oh, you
job.
knew I wasn't going to like it?
Yeah, I didn't think that would be for you. But when you say you were going out here trying to be a comedian, it was a little bit of surprise. I didn't think, at first I didn't think that, the competition out here was so fierce. But, you're doing pretty good so far.
Well, so, you got to be around the best to become the best.
Yeah, but then you got to have your own style, pretty much. That's what it is, really. Each one is like unique.
So if you could go back in time, would you rather have me been gay or a comedian?
None of the above.
I'm loving this so much. I have to change this for you.
What?
There we go.
And son.
Oh, funny. That is a good one. But you don't really care about stand-up comedy anymore.
What do you mean care? I mean,
Like
I
you don't watch, like nobody really makes you laugh. Only the old school guys like Rodney Dangerfield. That's who we grew up watching.
No, not necessarily. Some comedians,
But you
there's
don't
just
really
certain-
know them anymore. Chris Rock, have you know
yeah,
him?
I saw him a little bit on his special, but they sound. I mean, not through the whole hour. And you can't be just laughing everything he says. You might.
Oh
laugh
yeah,
You
it's
know what
just
I'm saying?
ideas.
It
yeah.
just some of the funny, some of it, and some people just laugh at anything. But
I'm taking him to see Jay Leno on Sunday
All right.
at Comedy Magic, and he was like, "I go, you want to go see Jay Leno?" He's like, "Yeah, all right."
Sure.
The guy I grew up. He watched the guy's late night show for 15 years as I grew up. Every night he watched Jay Leno, and then when I got to college, he started watching Letterman. He switched, but he watched Leno. My whole childhood, Leno was on TV, and I go, "Hey, I'm gonna go take you to see Leno. You're gonna meet him probably." And he's like, "If you want to."
Hey, Michael, how you doing? Your father does impressions way better than you.
Yeah, I don't do impressions.
Have you heard his British accent?
a little bit.
It's
But this-
terrible.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
agree.
I don't. If I did impressions, I'd be on Saturday Night
You
Live.
got to remember how they sound the vowels, like the I's is E's, and when they say a word.
Well, you're putting thought behind it.
No.
I don't think about it. I just try.
Well, no.
Yeah.
If you concentrate on some of the pronunciation, then you
Yeah.
sound like a British. Just,
Well, can you do a British one?
I have to think about it. I don't know. Not just now.
Just try it.
I can't.
It just
It just
yell at him in a British accent would be fantastic. Like, what's your go-to? I'm sure he did something wrong.
Oh, my wife used to say a lot of things to him. I just can't think of anything off my top right
We're
now.
putting him
It's-
really on pressure.
He put a lot of pressure. Yeah, you know how you go.
That's all right.
back.
We can come back to it.
So
Well, Colette, my wife, used to say to him every time he didn't agree about something, he says, "Michael, Michael, Michael, Michael." You'll never learn.
well, you know,
God bless you, Michael. I hope everything turns out well for you.
what if he just starts crying? We don't want to get too deep.
Yeah.
We did spread her ashes this week.
That's nice.
And what was the beach called?
El Matador.
You know where that is?
Matador Beach.
You've ever been?
Yeah.
Pretty nice. Never been.
It's a great beach.
So my mom's there now. So can't ever go there and be romantic. It looked like a good
No.
date spot. Can't ever take a girl on a date there.
Yeah.
Be like, hey, come here, let's kiss.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
Don't. My mother's watching.
if you could go back and do anything differently in life, what would it be?
If I had support, I probably would.
So, well, why would you need support?
Your parents have to be behind it. Otherwise, if they're just negative about it, you never accomplished anything like that. And a professional soccer player.
Do you think you could have
Yeah, I think so.
in America, or in Europe?
Well, let's just say that I was born probably in the wrong decade.
Mm-hmm.
I would think if I was not your age, probably a little bit younger. If I was born in the 90s, I probably would have been in some of these leagues. Not Europe. Europe is pretty tough there. But who knows? If I never came to America, I might have just stayed there. Who knows? I might have got involved.
Did your dad play soccer?
No.
He didn't do anything.
No, he didn't. I don't know where it came from. It just.
Do you know anything about your dad?
He was a barber.
He really didn't talk much. He was almost a mute.
He's a barber. Yeah, I mean, he's he went through a lot too. He was someone who came out of the ruins of World War II. So
On the losing side.
yeah, and he was always talking about Mussolini. He had the trains on time. Remember, I always talk about that. Mussolini had the trains on time. And yeah, Dan, but he supported Nazis, Mussolini.
He
But
didn't care.
other than that, he just kind of forgot about it throughout the years. He didn't talk about it too much. But he had to go there from Italy to Venezuela, then from there to Boston. So it was a lot of transition that you had to make.
Oh, in his personal life. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was hard to get accustomed one culture, especially down in South America, which wasn't his forte.
Venezuela.
Yeah. And my mother's side family wasn't really supportive of him. I was always criticizing him.
Does your wife's family like you?
Oh, they love me.
Do you think mom's family liked you? Did mom's parents like you?
Yes.
They were nice to you?
Yeah.
But did your parents like mom?
My parents,
Did they like Colette?
at first, they were a little bit.
Why?
You know how
Because she's British?
Well, yeah, exactly. They always want you to find somebody of the same culture.
culture.
Italian. Yeah. So when I was down in South America, I went down there and worked for my uncle for a year down there. They were trying to hook me up with somebody else. He says, I'm already have a girlfriend and I might be getting married.
Oh,
I was trying hard to introduce, look at her,
And you stayed loyal.
I did stay loyal. And some of them, they had quite a bit of money, because their parents had businesses. So he was trying to.
So there's a chance I would have not been a comedian then.
That's right. It would have just been nothing.
I would have just been in Venezuela and some business guy. Wait, so I can't imagine.
It could have been, he could have been half Latin person.
Yeah, I can't imagine someone not liking mom, but they liked her personality.
Yeah, she got used to it. Actually, she liked Laura more.
Well, she's Italian.
Sort of, yeah, maybe.
Laura was Italian. This was my.
I know. I think she
brother's
was
ex-wife.
Lebanese. I think she was Lebanese, and I'm not sure she was.
Was
Italian.
she mixed?
She might have been mixed.
Well, she has the New York thing. That's why.
Yeah, New York,
which
and
is very,
she was. She looked more like an Italian person because of the dark hair, and rather than. But at first, it was like that. It's a little bit.
She was just quiet, standoffish. Your mom.
Yeah, I mean, eventually, she got along fine with your mother.
Once she had grandchildren.
Yeah.
She was a good grandmother. Always overfed us.
And yeah.
But, what else?
Going back, did you ever get him interested in soccer? I feel like you were a baseball kid.
I never played it.
I played both.
Okay.
When I was in Venezuela, I was a year and a half old when the family, went down there because we were trying to go straight to Boston, but we had to take the whole family on my mother's side, which didn't allow it. It's just the immediate family because I had 2 uncles and 2 aunts in Boston. Actually, 1 uncle and 2 aunts in Boston. And we could have gone just me and my parents. But my grandmother was very domineering about it. He says, no, he says, stay together, we go. He said, well, the only other country is Venezuela, it's open borders. And,
really?
and everybody was going there. A lot of Europeans were going there after the war because it was open. It was a wealthy country, with the oil and all that. It was a lot of opportunity. So, my dad really didn't want to, but he had to go along with that. And we settled there for 10 years. But I ended up going to a boarding school, a Catholic school, when I was 10 years old. And that's the only time I got introduced into soccer. We played not as a team, but recreational. And I remember, the guy said, oh, you scored. Hey, great. I didn't think anything about it. That was it. That was the only time, my
Your what?
Soccer expertise came out of.
Oh,
you know,
gotcha.
I mean, yeah,
No, he was asking. He thought I didn't play. So I played soccer for 13 years.
yeah.
I just,
If you don't have it, you don't have it. It is.
I just, no, it
Michael,
wasn't
it
that.
doesn't matter how long you can play it for.
Yeah.
You just have to have the knack for it, like the natural.
The thing was, I was a late bloomer. And all the kids got bigger than me quicker. It was just genetics, you know. I had bad genes, so I was shorter and smaller.
Yeah, you
all
didn't
these
get
kids
all the
started
genes.
puberty. I didn't start puberty till 15, and at 13, I'm small, and all the other kids are starting puberty. They're running around me. It was harder. If I had a better coach to train me to work on my speed and agility, then maybe I would have lasted. But I got fat because the guy bought Doritos. He bought these box of Doritos from Costco.
Who bought those Doritos?
You did. You go to Costco, you buy those big boxes of Doritos. I'd come home from school and I'd eat them and get all depressed and play video games because I didn't start puberty. Then I got fat and then I got slow and then I wasn't good at soccer or baseball anymore. Went into a depression. Didn't know at the time because I was 13, but I was probably sad because I couldn't play sports anymore. So I started smoking pot at 15. Then I was doing bad in school. And then I was like, well, let me go to college because I hear it's a good party.
So you blame this all
on Costco. It's
no,
all on Costco.
he blamed all this on Doritos.
Doritos and Costco.
Doritos and
Costco with those big box of Doritos, and then video games, and then didn't care about school. I hated school. I liked school for the friends, but I thought it was I just thought it was stupid. Now that I'm older, I'm like, it is stupid. School is stupid.
Oh, I've seen you try and do math problems.
I was good at math. I like math and history. I liked anything else, but again, math. What did we do with math? All it does is it's good to make your brain work. But what's the point of doing it after that?
Well, it's kind of like a prerequisite if you're going to be an architect or an engineer.
But
so you got to have some background. You can't just go in there and says, "I want to be an architect." Did you take any math? No.
But if you want to be an architect, then you go into that.
Well, you don't. Early years you don't. Sometimes you decide your major like late in senior high school, and then in college you change your major and decided that you want to go there.
Never knew my major. Just kind of went with whatever I passed.
So you have to have all those basic knowledge of everything. Yes. Not so much history. I mean, history, like people, they don't really use it in every day, unless you go into.
Was your strength in English?
No, we're poor. We're both bad at English.
Oh yeah, I totally forgot you can't read.
I can't read because we can't read.
Yeah,
I can't read at all.
They blame your dad.
Mom would read. She would read books upon books and books, but that's why they're more intelligent. They read books. The thing is, people are smarter if they read books. Not street smarts though. They can't do simple things. I can change a tire. Not a lot of people can do that anymore. Not a lot of people can change tires. I know how to change a tire.
I remember you did. You did change a tire.
I can change. I can do an oil change. You that. Nobody does oil changes anymore because it's so cheap to get an oil change. But
it's hard to do it. Yeah.
If I had to, I did back when I was a teenager. But either way, it doesn't matter. When I was 16, he let me take the car on the highway and go like 120 miles per hour with him in it.
That's not true. Maybe you did.
No, you did with me. You let me drive fast on the highway when I was 16. It's fine. What does it matter? I lived. His theory was that I'd rather him do it with me so I see how he does it than alone.
Yeah, we went through a lot of that. Sometimes he would take the car in the middle of the night.
I would steal it.
And then he goes through, what do you call it?
The toll booth.
The toll booth, but he doesn't pay. Of course, there's the highway patrol up the street waiting for anybody who skips the toll. Pulls them over. Did you have a license then back then?
Yeah, but when you're 16, you can't drive.
Oh, that's right. It was after hours.
You can't drive after 11 when you're 16.
Yeah, it was after hours.
That was a law in Florida.
Yeah.
It's probably here too.
So he called me.
There's restrictions.
There's no way.
There is until you're 18.
Yeah.
There probably is. It's a pretty common thing. Like 16-year-old till 11, 17-year-old till 1. That's how they keep the kids off the streets late at night. They're not supposed to. It's hard to enforce it, but it's.
Yeah. So, then he called me and, come and get me.
Yeah. Basically. What do you see?
Yeah.
Right? in
Looks like
California too.
during the first 12 months, they can't drive between 11 p.m. and 5 a.m.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, which is a good rule. I
Yeah,
think
it's
they
not
should.
bad.
I think you should be 17 to get your license.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I don't want kids. Well, at this point, if I have kids, they're not going to have to drive. There's going to be some futuristic thing, so it's not a big deal. Hopefully, but what did you ever think about hooking up with a guy?
That's like a stupid question.
Have you ever thought about killing someone?
How about another question?
Very Italian response. All right. Well, if you could live anywhere in the world right now, where would it be?
That's a tough one. A lot of places. That's a tough one.
What do you think about California so far? You could live here? Could you live in LA?
Probably not.
Really?
Yeah.
Why not?
It's too congested. Yeah. Remember, I was out here back in the 70s.
Was it congested back then?
It's always congested.
All right. Wait, so then
Even in the 50s, it was congested.
really?
You see pictures of cars backed up in the freeway. It's just everybody was out here.
How long do you want to live? Do you think that's a crazy question?
Yeah, you just went from car congestion.
I know. Interviewer here.
Yeah, right. Like nice segue.
Well, listen, at the end of the day, it's just for clips. It's just to post the clips.
I don't know. As long as you can, stay healthy. But it's no sense living forever if you're not going to be able to do anything.
When was the last time you saw Michael perform on stage?
Wow, that was
before the pandemic.
That was I don't know.
In Boston.
Oh, it's in Boston, right?
Before the pandemic.
Yeah.
Are you going to see him perform tonight?
No, they're too late for him.
Yeah.
Because he falls asleep by like 9 or 10.
Yeah, we're like
you're on East Coast time. I get it.
3 hours.
But like if there was like one, like I mean, I get like the thing is like tonight I have 2 shows, so I'm hopping around. I'm not gonna drag him around these shows. Tomorrow night I have 2 shows, but then the late one at the Laugh Factory, that would be a good show for him. But it's at 10. I'm gonna be there till 12:30. If he wants to go, and I'm hosting it too, which is more fun because then I can make fun of the crowd. You know.
Yeah,
but
I get tired pretty easily.
If you want, tomorrow night he can come to the Laugh Factory. You've never been to the Laugh Factory?
Not down here, no.
Famous Laugh Factory where that's where Michael Richards said the N-word. You remember when that happened?
That's the moment you want to cherry pick.
Well, that's like that's kind of put the Laugh Factory on the map.
It was a zeitgeist moment. No,
it put it on the map. You remember Michael Richards from Kramer from Seinfeld? You know Seinfeld.
Yeah, I know Seinfeld.
Kramer, his name's Michael Richards. Kramer. What's up?
Oh, yeah, the tall guy. Yeah.
He was trying to do stand-up, and he lost his temper on stage.
Oh, he did?
Don't you remember this?
No, I don't.
It was like early 2000s. He was like, you N-word. And he started screaming the N-word. And then they kind of you don't remember that? It was all over Leno.
Yeah, well.
What's better food? Chinese food or Italian food?
It depends which Chinese and which Italian, both.
Very, very surprising answer.
A very surprising answer.
Yeah. I thought he would say
remember,
Italian.
I grew up with a lot of Italian food, so you kind of like,
It's kind of simple.
It's not simple. They have variety. I mean, you have to pick which one. I mean, you can't just say Italian food. But Chinese food, there's maybe a couple of dishes that I like. Italian, probably a few more. So if I have to pick one, I don't know. It could be any.
What's your last meal? You get one meal.
Last supper?
Last supper. What are you picking? So I know. So then when you're senile, and I'll be able to give you what you want: chicken parmesan or you want orange chicken?
Soup.
What would
Don't
you,
be able to chew that at that age.
if you're about to get fried up in jail? What's your last meal?
Fried and jealous. I haven't committed any crime.
But let's just
Allegedly.
allegedly.
Yeah. You're not yet, but
What's your last meal? I know mine.
Jesus, Michael, I don't know. It could be anything.
I'll probably do a chicken parmesan.
Well, that's what you always order.
Yeah.
Chicken parmesan.
Chicken parmesan, and maybe
it's the grown up chicken tenders. I get it.
I mean, it's a slice of chicken with
yeah, but it's tasty.
cheese on top of it and sauce.
I'm not gonna go with a sub.
Yeah.
I might do orange chicken with rice. That's good. That's a good last meal.
Yeah.
Probably, what would you do? You're just not gonna do a sub.
Well, you know what I was thinking?
Would you do a steak? Probably.
I would go for like a really good steak, but you know what? I was just like, I had one yesterday. It was amazing. It was a really, really good French dip.
was
And
this?
I was like, that was
A
perfect.
French dip. Oh, maybe breakfast. You do a whole pancakes. That's a good one.
Yeah, I could, it could be a steak or it could be one of those Italian seafood
With clams.
clams and
That's what he wants.
what do you call it? The mix of all variety. You ever had that with linguine? Yeah,
Yeah.
that. I usually get that.
What about Chinese versus Japanese?
I like sushi.
No. The
Sushi's
people.
Japanese.
Who
Oh,
would you
people?
rather be around? Japanese people or Chinese people? The people. Who do you like better, the Japanese or the Chinese? You didn't see that coming.
Sushi.
I
The
personally,
Japanese.
I prefer the Japanese.
Yeah, you're right. They're more disciplined. More. I've been in.
They seem friendlier.
Yeah, I've been in Tokyo, and well, that's back in the 70s, and it's funny because back then they weren't. I mean, some Americans from the base and so on, but I'd be walking around. It's like, they look at you and say, "Oh yeah, this is a white guy, white Americans."
They like Americans, the Japanese.
I guess they do.
Plus, the Chinese
but you got to
invented.
remember when you're walking in Tokyo, it's like you're the only one that is very distinguished among them.
That's what it's like being a minority.
Exactly.
It's
so
a great
what
experience.
it's like to be a black person among a
And
white crowd. They feel that way.
yeah, well, also like the Chinese, they created COVID, so
Who knows?
trying to get him to say some racist
I
stuff.
love that you're just trying to get him to latch onto a conspiracy theory.
Yeah, he's a conspiracy. He watches that guy, Mr. Conspiracy, Joe Morgan.
Wait, Alex Jones?
Yeah,
No,
Morgan,
you think Joe Rogan?
Rogan, yeah.
You think Joe Rogan's conspiracy?
I watched him. He asked me to watch, to watch him, and all he does is interview people with conspiracy theory. You won't believe this. What? And he tells them,
I believe that's how every clip begins. You're not going to believe this.
Yeah, exactly.
What? Tell me more.
Tell me,
That's fat. That's
And that's all he
fascinating.
does.
Facts? Hey, bring that up for me.
Yeah, bring that up. That's
I mean,
fascinating.
I could go to his show and he says, "Joe, you won't believe this. What? My son is gay."
Good point.
All this time he thought he was a comedian. No.
Clip that.
But yeah, he's. He's a good interviewer. But some of it, like he was talking about UFOs and all that, and
What do you think
That's
about
great.
UFOs? No way? You think they've ever been here?
if they have, then they didn't leave any evidence. Have they?
But how would you know? You don't think the American government
What are
would
you going
cover
to
that?
sweep everything up? Let's pick up everything.
Yeah, well, how would we know? The government would do that. What
Yeah,
was
but
it?
the
What about that
government-
New Mexico thing?
Yeah, but the government not necessarily had to be where they were, because
Well,
they might not have left. I'm talking about thousands of years
Oh,
ago
gotcha.
when, they might have been here with the early.
Before we had technology.
Well, even that, the Incas and all that, they might have been visited.
Well, what about so then isn't it possible though? I mean, they didn't die? They just came here and visited and left? Like, is there any...
It's possible,
Why would they leave
but
any...
they're non-existent. I mean,
Even if they left some sort of like metal plate and it was the 1600s, that could be buried and never found. And then if someone did find it today, they would think it was from modern society. So, you know...
it's possible, but you got to remember the travel...
Well,
light years away.
Well, that would be beyond our...
non-existent.
But that would be beyond our thought. We wouldn't comprehend it because we don't know the technology, but they could have a technology that we can't even comprehend. So that might not. That might be easy to travel the speed of light.
No, there's no way.
Well, look, if you told your dad and you showed him a Tesla 100 years ago, he would be, what? They wouldn't understand it. They wouldn't understand the virtual reality. If you showed your grandparents a cell phone, they'd be like, that's impossible. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I'm just going by logic. I mean, speed of light. I mean, it takes a million years to
No.
to see light travels to
in
our space.
In our world.
But we might not be around. If you take somebody, how is he going to support themselves?
Well, we wouldn't know that. That's something beyond our capability of understanding it. They would have something. You're thinking in the thought process as a human race.
So when he says logic,
Yeah.
Michael, the definition of that is it's conducted or assessed according to strict principles of validity. So I understand that. It might be a little...
So wait, so you're saying, so you don't think there's, do you think there's ever been aliens on Earth? What was the new thing that came out this week?
I didn't pay enough attention to it.
There was a whistleblower from the government this week.
But there's a lot of that.
It's a lot of speculation. Yeah. It's conjecture by someone who could be just
trying to sell a book,
fame chasing, selling a book, etc.
Okay. I don't know. That's what I think the correct answer is. I think anyone who gives you an answer, it shows their intelligence.
Now, the
correct answer is I don't know.
No, I can answer this.
You got to make sure you're in the mic.
That there could be life out there in the universe. Yeah, it could be a planet like Earth, but that's like millions of light years away, which you'll never know about it.
Sure. But what if there is an Earth-like planet like ours, and they're in year 7,000?
It's non-sustainable to travel through time.
For now, we don't. What if
it doesn't matter?
What if something's invented?
It doesn't matter. Even AI, artificial intelligence, you put them in there and like travel, it has to be supported somehow by some kind of fuel and energy to travel at that distance, and by that time it gets there, it takes like thousands and thousands of years, and it'll be non-existent. Nobody would know.
See, he's concept the great filter and the Fermi paradox. Logic.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't know what that means. What would you do? Is there any chance you would vote for Trump if he ran?
Not a chance in hell.
Why not? What if there was what if someone paid you a $500,000? Would you vote for him? Don't be an idiot. Don't be an idiot.
I was going to say you might need that $500,000.
I'll go by logic again. It says $500,000, I'll take it, but one vote of mine is not going to make a difference.
Fine.
He's not wrong, and
so
and we know
I'll vote
you don't
for
have
you.
a retirement fund coming.
Yeah, retirement fund.
Okay. What is it you don't like about Trump?
Well, he has fascist tendencies.
What do you think about that?
He's not wrong at all.
You think he's fascist?
Absolutely.
You said no?
No, absolutely he's fascist.
Yeah.
How so?
How so?
Are you kidding me?
Well, that's what I mean.
He asks everyone to kiss the ring.
Oh, you remember that meeting at the table the first year? And he went around and asked everybody, how do you think? Oh, Mr. Trump, I think you're the greatest, and we will do anything we want. And then the next guy, yeah, Mr. Trump, Mr. President,
okay, so then
he is classic.
Okay,
fascist.
so
he's a fascist.
Would you be okay with DeSantis?
He's like
He's a Melba.
Trump pooped.
He's
And he
like
got
a
DeSantis.
Melba toast fascist.
So then, who's gonna run for the Republican Party
That's
that
gonna
you
be
would like?
They all care about one thing,
And what's that?
and it's like feed the wealthy and get rid of the middle class. I mean, the poor, and tax them the hell out of them so we can, I mean, this is what gets me about these people. They talk about, the deficit. But 4 years ago, in 2017, when the Republican passed that $1.7 trillion to the wealthy, nobody was crying.
Just one off.
okay. Yeah.
That's
Keep going.
fine. Okay.
Nobody was crying about the deficit. See, it's okay for them to give money away to their buddies.
But
When it comes to, like, for instance, just recently they was asking Biden, oh, we need to cut this, cut that because of the deficit. And so Biden had to go and, do some things to please them, probably cut a lot of things that a lot of Democrats didn't like. But that's the way it is. But you got to be consistent about things like that, You can't just be one side all the time.
do you think voting matters? Do you think it really matters? Or
It
do you think
matters
it's
if it was fair, not the way it's going right now.
Do you think it's fake?
Some of these, it's not fake, but it's, you take some of these southern states, the way they put in voting, making voting hard for some of the minorities, it's unfair. But
Okay. All right. We'll wrap it up soon here. Well, we'll do it again next week. We can because you're still here. He's here for 18 days. Did you think you were going to leave early?
I don't know. And I was just thinking about.
You like it here?
Yeah, I don't mind it here. I was thinking mainly about my
Your
health.
back?
Yeah, my back, and see how to get around and all that. It'd be kind of like a pain in the ass on going places and all that.
You're saying if you lived here?
No, I'm talking
just
about
being
this.
here.
Yeah, I'm talking about the.
Well, what would you do? You would just sit at home then and deal with the pain?
No. It's just I'm not at home. That's just the difference there.
All right. Well, we're wrapping up at 40 minutes, so that's it. We'll do this. That is this week's episode. If you want to write in, you can, because we'll have him on next week because he's still here. We'll do it again next week. Is that okay?
Yeah, fine.
Did you have fun?
Oh yeah.
Do you want to? You could do this a lot. You
Sure.
get it. And then we post the clips on the internet. But he's very
You're gonna have to
self-conscious about what he looks like, though. He has to. We have to make sure he likes the way he
Well,
looks.
we're gonna have to talk to my agent. We have to write a contract about this.
I love
How
that
much
your
am I
dad
gonna
has
get?
an agent and you don't.
Yeah, I know. All right, we'll see you guys next week. Make sure you like and subscribe. Let us know what you think, and we'll be back next week. Thank you so much. Bye.
No.